أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So this is another basic vlog, and what I mean by that is it's a video, the V bit, and it's also a log, meaning a record. And because I'm making it up as I'm going along, I'm not quite sure what the log is for, beyond it being a record of learning about life. The phasic bit is just to do with the cadence. I'm trying to release a video as each moon phase quarter changes. So the first quarter of the new moon, month 7, Rajab, ends hopefully at the time at which this video is released. So it's just to do with the cadence. In terms of the content, there isn't really any known order yet. I suppose I'm trying to say things that I think are important, and the topic today I think is pretty important. It is work. However, it is work from an Islamic perspective, so actually it's not work at all. It is Salah or Salah. What on earth am I talking about? Well, in order to understand, we have to be able to link Muhammad Salah with the back of my throat, which sounds a bit weird, but let's hope we get there. When most Muslims think of Salah, the word, they're thinking of the ritual prayer 5 times a day, which I'm going to represent here with the 3 positions: standing, bowing, ruku, and sajda or prostration. As an interesting aside here, the first 3 letters of the second surah of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, are Alif, Lam, Mim. Okay, so back to how we might spell the word Salah, meaning the prayer. So Sad, Lam, extended Alif, and Ta marbuta. Now, if we look at what Wikipedia has to say about that spelling of the word Salah, we come to this page. Here are the positions: standing, ruku, sujud, and we come to this section here on etymology, and I do love some etymology. And each word in all the Semitic languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Arabic, have a 3-letter root. A good example of this is the Hebrew and Arabic word for peace, salam, which has the root sin, lam, mim, also gives you Islam. Another example that I like is the root ray, ha, and mim. Now, who knows exactly what this means, but 2 of the derived words are Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, as in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the most merciful, the root of mercy, the most beneficent and gracious, which are very, very commonly used names of the Creator, and also the Arabic word for womb, as in uterus, rahima. So they all come from the same root. I do wonder what that means. I would just point you to a previous video where I said that I have no definitive answers. These are observations. So what is the root of the word Salah, meaning the 5 daily prayers? Well, it seems that no one's 100% clear. The origin of the word is debated, as Wikipedia puts it. One option for the root is waw, sin, lam, meaning linking things together. And another one, root, sad, lam, waw, which no one knows what that means. So interesting, isn't it? What is the root of the word salah, meaning the prayer? Now, if I, as a Muslim, don't understand something, then the best place to start is the Quran. And this is a website called Quran.com. It's nicely arranged. Here are the different surahs. There are 114 of them altogether. I want to look at surah number 103, Al-Asr, because that contains the word Salihat, which I say quite a lot in my prayers. This is a short surah and it's beautiful, and it is one that most Muslims will memorize. Just while we're here, juz is 1/30th, a fraction, 1/30th of the Quran. So if you're trying to finish it in 30 days, you have to read 1 juz per day. There's no real functional or thematic Division is purely the terms, the amount of pages or verses, to give you a roughly equal split. But I'm going to look at the surahs, which are kind of meaningful divisions, and Surah Al-Asr. And the word here for Salihat. So if I just recite it, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَصَّوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَصَّوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. So lots of beautiful things in here. There's a crossover with the previous video of time, and it doesn't even mean just time. It means the epochs and the ages and all sorts of other things. So if we look here, the word Salihat is spelt differently. It has a different hair. So not the hair in handsome, but hair as in Muhammad Salah or Farah. And it has a different root. So this is a website that I like using to look at the roots of all the words. There's a word by word translation. And if we go to Surah number 103, we have all of the words, including Salihati. And if we click on that, we have all of the different places in the Quran where this root word is used. And it's used quite a lot, right? It counts the number of times for you. But look, the roots here is Sad, Lam, and Ha. So that is different to Salah as in the 5 daily prayers. This Salah has a more clear meaning, but it's just interesting to me that there are two different words and we're not clear a lot of the time as to which one we are meaning. So being clear about what we're saying, I think, is one of my main points for today's vlog. And how do we get from Muhammad Salah to the back of my throat? Well, we have to look at the makharij, so the articulation points for all of the letters of the alphabet in Arabic. And ha is a throat letter, so the obstruction to the airflow is in the pharynx, whereas ha is right down the bottom, sort of almost below the pharynx, getting into the top of your trachea. So those two are the two different letters, and for native Arab speakers, they can hear ha and ha completely differently as two totally different letters. For those of us who aren't lucky enough to have grown up with Arabic, it's more difficult. My point, as I said, was to just be clear about what it is that we are saying and be aware of the differences, and for us to educate ourselves about how these sounds are produced. So to take us all the way back to the initial statement, do good work, and how this might relate to what we've been talking about in terms of Salah. So etymology, again, looking at the roots of words, and Etym Online is a website that I really like. And here is the entry for work. And the root comes from a Proto-Indo-European part word, verg, which means to do. And if we click on that, all sorts of other words are derived from this root, including surgeon, which kind of makes sense. Allergy, which makes less sense to me. So this is the root for the English word work, to do. So kind of do good work means do good doings or good deeds. And in fact, my favourite English translation of the Quran by Thomas Cleary uses good works, in fact do good works, as the translation for Surah Al-Asr, where it says Salihat. So for me, there is a clear link between the word work and everything that means, and the word Salihat and all that means. And from my perspective, it is very different to the normal notions of work as salaried employment and the creation of value and all of that kind of stuff. So more on that another day, perhaps. And in the meantime, may Allah, our Creator, show us light and mercy. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.